You know, it's sometimes it just be the little things that you realize about yourself that allows you to make so much more progress over time. So now that you know that, and that's been the thing that has been like seemed to kind of been holding you back from like really implementing these ideas that you have. You know, your next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months is gonna be you're gonna have way more progress just noticing these little things, right? Like these little, we just get into our own routines and habits so much that we need to do something different and we need to break it. So sometimes it's checking in with somebody. Sometimes it's like, yo, make LaShawna get on a call with me so we can stop everything and see what's going on. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it takes that in order to get refocused. And the good part about it is like we doing it on a continuous basis. Other people who are not in programs like this or not going through this like with us, they might look up New Year's. You know what I'm saying? They look up once a year. We bring it back to your attention every week. That's the good part. You know what I mean? So like you got like women that they need this. Like what you have is so gold, but you have it in your head and you got to get it organized on paper. Like how we were talking about, like you don't even got to type it out. I mean, the playbook, it is writable, so you can type on it. But for you, I'll probably recommend that you just get a separate notebook and everything that's in a playbook, you write it out by hand. You know what I mean? Right. Do that, because I think you'll be more connected to it. I mean, you connected to it already, but I think you'll be more connected to the actual solutions and thinking through the challenges. And that's what I do, by the way. Like I still write a lot of things out by hand and I'll just transfer it, which you get the double benefit of looking at it twice, right? If you just type it on a computer, you might, you got it and it's on there. But when it's something about writing it out that you feel more connected. And then when you type it again on a computer, it's just reinforcing the knowledge. It's reinforcing the information, right?
That's true.
And in our industry, repetition is key. Like you don't go into the marketplace in terms of like doing lives, videos, podcast interviews, saying different things every time. You go into the marketplace saying the same messages every time. That's how people know that, oh, LaShawna has this phrase, or this is what she talks about, this is what she talks about, or this is what she about, because you're saying the same things over and over and over, and people know you for what you do by repeating messages. So the more you look at it and write it, the more it's ingrained in you. So I can ask you a question right now, and if I asked you the same thing 3 months from now, you would give me the same answer because it's just so ingrained in you. Make sense?
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
All right, love it. So let's go through a couple. So inside of the playbook, one of the things we ask you is what your 12 topics are, right? So your 12 topics are you said you started off doing a one-on-one coaching program, right?
Or group. One-on-one and group.
Which one do you want to be your front end? I mean, when you have a conversation with somebody, are you saying you get one-on-one and then we have groups, or are you saying you walking into a group and I'll give you one-on-one touch points? Which one do you want to do with?
Probably one-on-one and we have groups.
Right. Okay. So which is the opposite of PCS, right? You walking into a group, but I give you one-on-one like this as a bonus, right? Mm-hmm. So like it's like that. So, okay, so cool. So, but you're doing the opposite. So, okay, cool. So the 12 inside of the playbook, we have 12 topics. Each and every one of those topics are a different it's a different principle that you're going to train them on each week of the 12 weeks.
Okay.
So let's come up with a couple of them now, right? What are some of give me some topics that you would teach somebody based on your experience that they need to know? And write a couple of them out by hand.
Now, I do have some of those written down. I'm just flipping through my notebook.
No, that's fine. See, that's what I'm saying. But no, that's good. What I'm saying is you need to know them off the top of your head. Right. That's what I'm saying, right?
Right, and I'm only going back because I don't want to say stuff that's not in my...
I want you to say stuff. I want you to say stuff that potentially might not be on there. Because if it's not on there, that'll make your mind think and choose, right? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to change anyway. Like over time, it'll change. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry. All right. Like I'll give you an example. Like for me, like I've been operating PCS for like 3 years now. I can tell you some of the things that I thought was important. Not saying it wasn't, but some of the things I thought was important 3 years ago, I've learned after speaking to thousands of people at this point and coaching thousands of coaches. Now I know, like, you know what? These 2 points is important, but it's not as important as these 2 points. So I swapped them out, right? So there's certain things over the years, the more knowledge and wisdom I get, I change and update my topics to help people get faster and easier progress. Right? So don't feel like you're married. Even if you come up with 12, you're not married to any of them. Right? You're not married right now. You can always change them. And it's going to change probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. It's going to change anyway. Coach yourself at the beginning of your journey. When you were first starting in 2016, what are some of the things, now knowing what you now know, what are some of the things that you would have taught yourself at that time to help you get through that situation easier and faster? And you've already mentioned 5 of them, but what are some other things you wish you would have known or you wish somebody would have taught you?
Okay, so the first thing that I started to see, for me, I had no idea. All I knew was that I had been sexually abused as a child. That's all I knew.
Right.
I had no idea of what that looked like in my life. Like, even though I knew it had happened,
right,
but I didn't know how it was showing up. I didn't know what that looked like. Even though things were happening or had happened or I was operating a certain way, I had no idea because I didn't even know what.
There you go. Write it down. That's it. Identifying, you can call it whatever you want, but based on what you said, this is what comes to mind for me. Like identifying the trauma, right? Like almost like identifying, or maybe identifying the effects, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Like something, I think that would be dope. That might be one of the first things you teach them when they come in, like week number 1, identifying.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, because you got to know, because what I found with people, especially black people, black women, black men, like I said, because we get knocked down, but we don't like to talk about what that did.
Right.
We're so like, yeah, I get back up, I bounce back, we like to talk about that part.
Right.
But we don't like to talk about, okay, yeah, but when I got knocked down, it messed up my self-esteem. Or
right.
when I got knocked down, it made me look at myself different. Or when I got knocked down, I felt like I was worthless.
Right.
That part, we just...
that's critical. That's critical. Right? So, yeah. So, there you go. That's another topic. Right? So, I think we got about 6 so far. So, my challenge to you is I want you to come up with the other 6. And that's also inside of the playbook, right? So, come up with the other 6. And, and then right there, you have the skeleton to your program. Because the biggest thing, everything else is really logistics. Like, you really just need the topics to coach somebody. And then everything else is logistics, setting up the business, taking payment, giving them access to you don't got to have like a Kajabi like you can have a Google Drive and just upload, their coaching sessions, their replay to the coaching sessions to a Google Drive folder. You know what I mean? It don't got to be fancy like we got it. I wasn't fancy when we first started. I was I might have been using like Dropbox or something like that, like for replays. So you don't need to be fancy starting off. Right. You know what I mean? Because you got it. You coaching me right now, so you got it. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
Just that one little thing, Coach T, was such a breakthrough. Like, it really was, because it was like, duh. Like, I was like, duh. Like, I literally, and it's funny, because even as a younger girl, I journal a lot, and I would write in my diary. Well, back then, diary. So I would write in my diary, or do a lot of diary writing, which is my journaling now. Right. But so I've always had this, I won't say that I was a writer, but I always had this avenue that I used to write whatever was on my heart. Right. And it would just flow, pen to paper, write it out. Right. Pen to paper, write it out. But it's something about this, I guess, old people stuff. It's something about with the keyboard, it just don't work like that. Yeah, listen, I'm with you. You know what? Everybody, and that's why I say self-awareness is key. Everybody is different. So if ideas ain't flowing like that when it's on the keyboard, I need to see stacks of notebooks in your house, stacks. Write your stuff out. Even me, when I'm writing out my day, I don't put it straight in my calendar. I actually have a planner that I write inside of the planner first, and then I transfer. I promise you, I'm the same way. Yeah.